You know how much we struggle with visual to do like the welcome to Sinfiltros?
Welcome to see.
Yeah, all the time we were laughing and it was just ridiculous. And maybe it's still ridiculous. So sorry, viewers. No, Berka, I'm so happy you're here.
Nice to meet you.
To
nice
meet
to
you.
see
No,
you.
you're Sinfiltros, so you're my friend.
Yeah.
You're my ex-colleague from Upeace, the UN University for Biz.
Yeah, facts.
And above all, you will come here to talk to. Sorry, too much emotions. To discuss your music because alias Coolkid, you were kind of famous in your country, and you become a businessman at very young age. Berka achieved a lot of things at such a young age, so we are very proud to have him here because when we made Sinfiltros, and I told you this before, it was really to be able to invite people like you that would be able to inspire, to give ideas. Don't take la grosse tête.
No, of course,
don't know how to say in English.
I feel that to inspire is a bit much to say, but maybe someone will see what I did and he'll say, hey, maybe I can do that too. Because a lot of the things that I'm doing is because I saw someone else doing it and I said, hey, but if this guy can do it, I can. So yeah, I'm very happy to be in Sinfiltros. It's a good thing.
Sinfiltros in Geneva, in Pali Wilson.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's cool.
Let's start?
Yeah, let's start.
So maybe let's start with your origins. I know how much your country is important to you.
Yeah.
And it's where you start doing and where you've done the music. So maybe let's start saying a few words.
Okay. So I'm from Cameroon.
Oh really? You didn't know?
Yeah, I know. I'm from Cameroon.
I know a lot of things, but this podcast will still be Sinfiltros.
Yes. So I'm from Cameroon, a country in West Africa, Western Central Africa. We speak both French and English, and I've had quite a very interesting career, from a degree in computer engineering to a full-blown music career to a creative career as a graphic designer to now doing communications in like international peace domain. I'm now finding myself in Geneva after New York. It's quite an extreme,
businessman.
an extreme set of stories. Yeah.
And I'm happy you're here because still in Costa Rica, we wanted to do this podcast.
Yes.
Things happen.
Yeah.
So maybe So when you were you as Coolkid, you were a singer doing music in Cameroon, and from one day to another, what happened? How did you start to become that famous? And especially, it's not really the famous thing; it's doing what you love, your passion for music. How it starts?
It usually starts like sounding like a crazy person that says, "Oh my God, I'm going to do the things that I love. I'm going to do what I like." And you need a couple of people to believe in you. I had some friends, Bola, Ivo, we were together, and then we were like, "Hey man, let's learn how to use this software." Already coming from an engineering background, so computer
music
stuff.
Software.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now we had to learn how to use music software, and we started practicing. We did a song we found cool from something we saw on Family Guy. It's a bit of a story on its own, and we took it, we made a sample, we did a song, posted it on the internet, just like, let me show some of my friends, and people started liking it. And we got a call from Boa Tape like a couple of years later, like, hey man, we'd like to include your song in our tape. And we're like, yeah, sure. And people started liking it. Became one of the most liked songs in the country at the time.
4 months now, you were at the top of the box office.
Yeah. Cameroon doesn't have a box office per se, but we have like Trace Urban, which is like a very big channel for urban music in Cameroon. Yeah, I was at the top of that for like months too.
So you upload the video on the internet?
Yeah, I uploaded a video on YouTube, of course.
And you got viewers immediately, or?
Yeah, I started having viewers, and I started getting called for video interviews. I was called by Brice Albert to Douala, like, hey, little bro, what's up? Do you want to do an interview or something? And then I went there, and when I was at the interview, so many people were calling in, like, oh my God, we like this guy. I was like, me?
So it was kind of meant to be, because we know that, of course, you need work and you
Yes.
need the skills, but a lot of people, and especially the young, are uploading videos on YouTube with the hope that the music's gonna work.
Yeah,
So
yeah, true.
it's
You
nice
know,
that it worked from
the first time,
the
but
first
a
time.
lot of factors came into play. You know, at the time, Cameroon music is emerging. There's still space for you to just do that randomly. People still look for something that they like. They can identify to a guy who sounds like a Cameroonian. You know, they wanted that. Yeah, so it was good. It was good, and it gave me some quite good opportunities.
And what's happening in your mind? Like you wake up and you see, wow, my songs, all those viewers, I am receiving all those calls. What's happening in your mind, and how old were you at this time?
It's just me and my guy saying, "Oh my God, bro, did you think it was going to be us? No, no."
You were very young, right?
Yeah. I was about 19, 20.
Yeah.
So like,
You're
you know,
still young, but
yeah.
you know.
Like you're with your friends, you're just shocked about it, and everything is just a surprise. Everything is good news all the time. So yeah, it was good. It was quite good, impressive, a bit overwhelming and all, but you get used to it, and you're with your friends like, hey. It was a nice day today.
And the name of the song was Seriously.
Yes, it was Seriously.
Seriously. And why cool kid? Do you think you're a cool kid?
Yeah, you know, to be honest, I don't think I was cool at the time. I just thought, you know, maybe if I call myself cool kid, I'll be cool. It worked, by the way. I became cool. So yeah, that was it. That was basically it.
And what was the biggest challenges at this time? When you're starting this music path, you're not prepared for it. It's like a phase, like you have the talent, the skills, you want to succeed. I guess you worked hard, but
yeah.
What are the biggest challenges?
I think the biggest challenge was actually just family, you know. Like my family was really not for that, so they kept pushing like maybe you should do something else, and I mean it was not a bad idea because that's what pushed me to get into graphic design.
Yeah,
I got into communication. So yeah, I mean, my family was like, "Yep, nope, we don't like that," you know.
But why? Because they were afraid by the music environment, or because it was not that stable. It was maybe a dream coming true, and they didn't know how to handle it. You know, when sometimes people don't know an environment, they can be afraid because they don't know it.
Yeah.
Do you think it was more to protect yourself?
I think actually it was to protect me because you know the environment, the entertainment environment in any country is not really the best place, you know, for a soul that wants to stay safe. So, like, it can actually derail you if you're not ready. So I'm happy to have had the feedback from them because it kept me a little bit sober, you know. Because you know now that my parents or my family is not okay with that, maybe I need to be more careful in how I navigate this to prove to them that they are not wrong. So I was more careful with the people that I met, the things that I did, the environments I found myself in. I avoided some certain things. I didn't go into any substances or any type of thing. I really tried to avoid everything. So it was quite good. It was a good thing that they were scared, you know.
And do you have a specific memory that was crazy?
Like during my time as an artist?
Yeah, because you went on show, on stage.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've had some quite interesting shows. I've had, you know, some international acts that came from Cameroon with whom I had to perform.
Yeah, because you travel a lot then.
Yeah, so I performed with, you know, a French DJ. His name was DJ Noise. I performed with a couple of other French artists like Hiro when Hiro came to Cameroon. Do you know Hiro? MH and I know he's getting locked up now for something, but I mean, I performed. It was a really big event when he came to Cameroon. I was his opening act, and I can remember that particular day the crowd was going so crazy, you know.
What happened? You were in the crowd?
No, I wasn't in the crowd. You know, I was the opening act for MH so like the person that performs before him.
Sorry, my phone is making noise, but Rijal is texting actually.
Okay.
He has few questions for you. I'm gonna share after.
So, you know, we finished performing. When I finished my performance, you know, as an artist, you're supposed to be in the backstage, but I was so happy to be there. So I came down to stand in front of the crowd just to watch him perform. While I'm watching him perform, and I am happy to see, oh my God, I like this guy. The fans are behind me, and they're happy to see me standing in front of them too. So they're pulling my clothes, they're pulling your jewelry, they're trying to, you know, touch you and stuff, and you're like, yeah, I'm happy to see this guy too. Maybe we could focus on the guy. And when we finished the event, the security told us that the fans are going to break the security fence. So we had to as soon as he was done, the security came and whispered to us that as soon as he drops his mic, you have to start running.
Like in the movie,
yes, when he drops his mic, you run out of the stage, you go backstage and go into the cars that are waiting for you guys. The drivers are outside waiting to run from the crowd. So he dropped the mic and we started running. The crowd broke the fence and they started chasing all the artists. And, this is me and Bola running, running behind with the security, going and jumping into cars. And, cars are rolling while we're still trying to get ourselves inside,
And
yeah.
you still feel the memory, right?
Yes, I do. I still feel it.
I can feel the adrenaline right now.
Yeah. It was an intense day. That's one of the days. We had cool other days, many other things that were very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Some interesting things. I'm glad to have had to live that.
And have you always liked doing music and listening to music?
Of course. I've always liked doing music. My dad told me when I was a kid, I used to hold like a toy microphone I had and I used to sing this certain song, Aisha, hey, Kutema, I don't know if it's quite an old song, but he said I used to like it so much I spend my time for the whole day performing the song in front of in the living room in front of them. So when he saw me doing music in a professional scale, he said, somehow, we had seen that you like this when you were a kid. So yeah, there was that.
Mm-hmm.
There was that.
Okay, I'm gonna check out Rijal.
Okay, sure.
He's texting me. By the way, we say hi to Rijal.
Hey Rijal, how you doing?
He just graduated, by the way.
Oh, congrats on your graduation. I actually saw the pictures on his social media. We're friends on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We hung out in New York with Rijal too.
Yeah, Rijal was in New York now.
Yes.
He left me, but still part of this podcast. As you can see, disturbing with the noise. No, I'm joking. Yeah, Berka is saying that we know that you then decided to stop music.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to take a step back from music, and do you have any regrets?
No, actually no. I remember once I was in the house with my friend with whom I started doing music together with him. When I started doing music, I realized that there weren't good graphic designers to make like good content that can go very well with what artists are doing. So I was doing it for myself. And then one day I told Bola, I think this is the only thing that I can love to do more than music. I really love it. And I learned it by myself, using Photoshop because I'm always very curious about new software. So using Photoshop and trying to figure it out. And then I was like, yeah, I actually like this. Then I started getting a lot of calls from other artists who wanted me to do it for them too. Like some really A-list artists in Cameroon, like practically every artist in Cameroon that is a youth, that is an A-list artist now. I've actually had to do projects with them. I've done projects for like some of the biggest events there. So actually I started realizing, hey, maybe I'm good at this and this is good and it's calm because I started when you spend too much time in noise, you start to enjoy the calm moments a lot. And then I realized this is something that I can actually do in the calm. And yeah, I already had all the necessary contacts for that. So it was quite easy to switch from this to that.
Let's come back. So you decided to stop music to be more focused on the graphics, and we will come to this because you created your own business.
Yeah.
But do you have sometimes some nostalgia from the music period, and do you think your family played maybe a role in this decision?
My family was still against graphics, so it's not like they loved it. So they were like, yeah, man, why don't you just finish your degree in engineering and just do engineering stuff, So in the end, it's not because family that I moved into graphics. It's because it's still something that I liked. And then I was seeing like, hey man, I can actually push this into more of a communications thing. And then I started my own thing. I started iGraphics 237, where I was taking other artists as clients of mine and doing projects for them, artist events and everything. And after some time, I worked with Sean Cobb in Cameroon. It's a communications agency, which was more focused on peace. And because at the time there was the crisis going on in the Anglophone part of the country, so it was like promoting peace, promoting, promoting the fact that Cameroonians are the same. There's no difference between us. So all of
So
that.
strong messages behind.
Yes, yes. And actually, that's why I fell in love with peace and everything. That's how I found myself in Upeace.
Creation, arts, pictures.
Like art related to peace, communication related to peace. Yeah, so.
That's beautiful. You really think that through a picture you can vehicle a specific message?
Yes, of course. I mean, that's what I've been doing during my time in New York and Geneva, working with the communication departments of the places where I've been to create posters and things that actually communicate the messages of what they want to do. Usually more peaceful things, usually things against violence. I mean, that's quite a step from where I started the idea.
And how did you start to create the Red X?
Yeah, so I didn't really.
His company.
Yes, so I started my own thing. It's called iGraphics. It's a platform online. People come, they ask for graphics, they do things. So when I did it, I was like, hey, because I come from a family that is very business oriented.
Okay.
So you get to know how to organize yourself when it comes to businesses and not be random. So when I said, okay, I have an idea and I'm doing graphics, I started doing it with some people, and I was like, hey man, if I want to actually do this seriously, maybe I should make it its own entity. I don't have to tie my name to it necessarily. Let it be an entity on its own that can grow and get his own clients and everything, get people to work there, all of that. So I was like, yes. So I created the Red X now and started taking clients under the Red X. With time, at some point I had some staff members before I left. And so yeah, it was actually.
What would you tell to young people or people who want to achieve, but they are afraid because of their young age? Yes, because you've done so many things from very young age. Maybe you had this fear. I don't know. Have you ever been afraid one day, or?
Of course. I'm just going to say what I tell myself to motivate myself to keep going.
Exactly.
Is that, very few people are actually trying. So if you try just a little bit, you'll just be ahead of so many people. So just try a little bit. Many people are having ideas and they're not even trying. So if you have your idea and you can try just 10%, you're already better than so many people who just have ideas and doing nothing about it. So just try a little bit, and while you're in the idea, just use the same principle to go to the next step. So if I do this idea like this, how is it, just try again a little bit. You'll just be ahead of everybody else. So
do you doubt sometimes?
Do I?
Doubt.
Of course, you doubt sometimes, but you have to get out and look at the bigger picture, and say, if in general, if I compare where I was maybe 7 years ago and now, or last year and now, if now is better, then it's okay. It happens to me. It happened to me even when I was in New York or here in Geneva. You have a day or two where you sit and you say, oh my God, what am I even doing? This feels just so random. And then you say, I'm actually sitting in Geneva thinking about this. I had started this thing in my room.
In Paris of the UN, where
I'm
we do my internship. Internship.
I'm actually sitting in the United Nations building, looking out of the window and looking at the lake of Geneva.
We are in the yoga room of the Pan-Wilson right now. Kind of fancy podcast.
So yeah, like you say, this is way better than, sitting in my room 6-7 years ago and doubting myself on a tiny wooden bench. So it's good. So you think about that and it helps you. Just don't get carried away too much by how you feel sometimes.
Wow, thank you so much for your genuine messages.
Thank you. I mean, thank you very much for having me. I really wanted to be in the same field as podcast. I'm very happy. I feel like, I've come to meet like celebrity and all. She's
No, come on. Oh, and if you have to say something to the Upeacers right now, to the students from Upeace.
Like, Upeace is probably the best experience you ever have. It was for me. I met some of the nicest people I've met, I met some of the nicest people ever in one of the most beautiful countries in the world. It is one of the most beautiful countries in the world, Costa Rica.
Let's go back.
Yeah, I definitely will go back
Let's
to
start
Costa
this
Rica.
podcast and fly to Costa Rica.
So it's definitely one of the most beautiful countries in the world, and an extremely good experience. You meet as many people as you can, make friends. That's what's going to help you.
You know what?
Make friends.
I know how much your friends and your family are important to you.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something to them? I'm sure they will watch the video. Is there something that you want to say today?
You know.
I know you don't like to show off
Yeah,
too
but
much emotions.
yeah, you know, if I had to say something, then there's a lot of people to Marty. I told you, but you know that's not a very fair message to say. Like, you know, I have some friends that are really trying their best and are doing what they can. I know what Cameroon is like, and I know the effort that everybody is doing to go out. And I would just say, don't stop. Just do a little bit more and just learn to look around a bit more, because that's one thing that I learned when I stepped out of Cameroon for the first time. Everybody else, everywhere else is looking around a little more. Don't get confined to your little box of how you think. So I'll just encourage them to keep going and say hello to my mom.
Of course,
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah. And you know, I'm very grateful for her. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, she tries to protect you.
Yeah. She's really doing amazing stuff.
Supporting you.
You know, I think everybody says this, but I think my mom is actually the best mom in the world. But
No, sorry, no, my mom is the best.
I think but she's
I
an
think no
amazing
one
mom.
will agree with that.
Yeah, no one would agree with that, you know, but it's okay. It's okay for you to have your own opinion, you know, from my place. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let's meet for other episodes. And thank you for watching. And Rizal, we send you some kisses.
Yeah.
And hope to have you soon in the podcast.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.